And if you can see, we want to make every Takaful relevant, simple, straightforward, trust, inspiring, human, caring, engage. Okay, then you can read. I'm not going to talk about the company's vision to you today, but I wanted to give you an overview of who we are at Every Takaful. And one of the things that I'm proud of since I've joined the group in 2017 is their commitment to really live this vision, right? To change the way people feel about Takaful, regardless who you are. And it goes into inclusive Takaful inclusive insurance, initially covering the lower income segment. And I'm proud today to share with you even the PWD segment, or in Malaysia we call it OKU segment, right? So and a bit about who I am. So this is me with a lot of credentials and whatnot. And I don't want to say anything here. You can see. But what I wanted to say, as much as I am the Chief Strategy and Digital Distribution Officer of Every Takaful Berhad, I am also a full-time dad. And I have a son, a teenage autism son, now recently February, uh, celebrated his 14th birthday, right? And loving autism is my tagline. I post anything about advocacy about autism. He's my only son, so I don't have any other experiences raising a son. So to me, he is as normal as possible, and a son, right? I have no other words to explain. And for parents on the call, I'm probably you experience a lot the same as me when I say it's a journey of a lifetime, right? My story is probably resonates with a lot of you. This is just pictures of 3 years ago, how he has grown from a very small boy in April 2020 when he was 12 years old. Now almost as tall as me and probably bigger than me in very near future, right? We spend a lot of time every day exercising um, and whatnot. Across the many years, I think one of the things I can say day in day out, going through phases, puberty, through growing up, through trying to address some of his concerns and anxiety. I've come to a place where I wanted to build this, right? Mission possible, where or impossible or whatever, to protect my son and his future as best as possible. And that's how I came about being in the industry for the rest of for the whole of my working life. It's been very challenging to find a Takaful coverage or insurance coverage for the autism community, because I was searching for my son, right? A lot of times you go in and you get rejected, and it's been a very um, long journey to where I've come with this particular agenda, and where I share a bit of how we view this in 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 every Takaful, right? About how we want to close the protection gap on providing this Takaful coverage to both the underserved and unserved community. And I'm for PWDs is probably falling in between both underserved and unserved. Some of us with children or even adults that has some form of disability would form under even the unserved community, where there isn't any. Where there is, it's very vague, and whether you get covered or not, and things like that. So at Everyday Takaful, we want to do this, and we've developed these kind of products. And through conversations that we have, like today, and again, thank you NASOM for arranging, is to explain to everyone about what the product is, because sometimes you don't understand, you might not understand the background, the context to the products and whatnot. We've taken this very seriously, and we actually engaged University of Malaya to help with the research. And as you can see, these are data that's official. And when we talked to YB Ras Adiba many years ago, um, what do you call that? Many years ago, there are more people not registered, right? And when you look at this as well, I think learning disabilities forms a big portion of the the community, about 34%. And physical disabilities, a lot of times the existing Takaful products or insurance products you actually can take. Even when you're blind or deaf, uh, you actually can take. But a lot of times, learning disabilities, through my own experience with my son, trying to get coverages for him was very challenging. And that's where I think before we go into the one that everyone's excited about or probably want to hear more about, I just tell you the story of how we came about Special Care Direct. April, a year ago, more when we came together and provided a unique online
Najib, we have lost you.
hello.
Okay, you're back.
Okay. Oh, my internet connection is unstable. I'm sorry. If I get chopped off or anything, please feel free to call out so that I can repeat wherever I dropped off. Anyway, so I was saying Special Care Direct was a product that we developed to cover children with learning disabilities. And this comes particularly from my own experience of my own worries, right? And when we talk about providing coverages for children, our children is really, first trying to get any sort of form of coverages. But at the same time, it's really to ensure that if anything happens to us, that he gets covered. And the other thing that I thought, as from my own experience, right, with my own son, and even today, I'm still unclear of what his future would be like when he goes into adulthood. Um, some can can be with what do you call that, academic, and some might not. So we develop a product where first it covers both the child and that parent, where death benefit, and for the parent particularly, if anything happens to them, it covers death, total permanent disability, and also waiver of contribution so that the coverage for the child continues. And then a computer rider. And the other thing is that at the age of 18, the child would actually get a lump sum benefit of an amount, 10% of the total coverage. So if it's 100,000, the child at the age of 18 has that option to take a 10,000 ringgit. So it just doesn't go off just like that. And 10,000 ringgit, the logic behind it is that at that age, you might want to decide to send your child to the university, or if not, he's not into academic, you can use to start off a business, and do a lot of things. 10,000 ringgit for the child is something to start off. And we've developed it with three plans: 25,000, 50,000, 100,000, to ensure that we provide as much um, exposure for as many people, regardless of which income bracket you are in. And the beauty of this product as well, so this you can enter at 4 for the child, up to 20, and the parent between 17 to 55. Um, and the beauty of it, and I don't have a slide on it, is that for the parent, if you have any existing illnesses as well, which in normal cases, even if you go into any Takaful coverages, you get rejected. For this product, you can. So we wanted to ensure that we as parents, autism parents, be able to build financial safety net if anything happens to you, because we know, right? As parents, we one of the worries is always what happens if you're not around. The cost of therapy and whatnot for a lot of people, even if you send to NASOM, there's some very minimal costs, or maybe you want to send additional ones. There's always cost to it. So we wanted to give that assurance if anything happens to you, there's a dedicated pool of money just for the child. And you can have other insurance coverage or Takaful coverages to cover other things. So that was what special care direct came about. And we were, when I was doing some talks earlier, even with NASOM, I think the first question that, yeah, this is good, and whatnot. And then I do encourage for any parents on the call right now who has not explored or take the product, do consider, if you have children between the ages of 4 to 18, just to ensure that, because it's a it's both, right? It covers you and the child, and it's really for you in case the child anything happens to you. And but during those conversations, it's always about, um what about medical, right? And when we were promoting the product, we engaged with Cycle Uzi Cycle, a 14-year-old as well, a cyclist. So he's in the special care direct um, age band. But we also engaged Adli and his son Lukman, who is an adult. So he was uh, he was on board to help promote, but sadly his son couldn't take up the product of Special Care Direct. And even Adam from the Adam family, right? Also similarly, and they're all beyond the age of 20. And again, the question was, wow, what about medical? Um, So, and at that point of time, back in April when we were doing the talk, I told everyone that it is a journey, and for the benefit of everyone, and getting a Takaful product for people with disabilities in general is not so straightforward. I think when you develop a Takaful product, you look at various components at the risk of individuals, even when you're normal, right? Even when you're normal, you take into consideration your health, uh, your occupation, your age, and things like that. And because there isn't a lot of data on people with disability out there, the industry, which is when you do all this pricing and risk management, financial assessments, is always based on data. And because there isn't a lot of data, it's always they always take a very conservative approach in doing it. And a lot of times the conservative approach goes into the extreme and say, no, we can't cover you, right? So if it's been a very long conversation with a lot of people trying to what do you call, what's that word, trying to uh, sorry, I'm fasting, I can't find the word. Trying to convince, yes, trying to convince a lot of my colleagues, and which I am very thankful to have very supportive colleagues who has helped me in this mission of mine. I know she's not in, or probably she's in, to Sharifah Zarina, particularly the chief product officer of FWD Berhad, who has been as passionate and also very patient with me when I come about trying to explain a lot of things to people while we develop this product, right? But even for people with, when I told them about medical, right? We, as a community, we don't really want anything special. We just want for our child, if they ever, or for any individuals for that matter, if they have to go into hospital for things like dengue, right? Right now, if you go out, most of the time, if you try and search for a medical product, you probably get rejected. And even for those kind of um, illnesses, we can't get covered. We understand, right? Certain therapies and things like that, we shouldn't be covered. Okay, fine. But as much as possible, just like anyone in the world, in Malaysia for particular, we want to ensure that our children and even be it children below 18 or adults have the opportunity to get have access to healthcare, right? To public or to private healthcare, just like any other people, any other person. Especially if you have children with from not within the spectrum, then there's always that comparison, right? Not being able to provide similar coverages to your child, it sometimes hits you. Um, so after many months and at least a year after the launch of Special Care Direct, finally we've come to a point that on 5th April, very recently, we've launched FWD SpecialMed, right, for learning disabilities. So as you can read in the slide, it's the first online medical plan unique tailored for the needs of people with learning disabilities. And this is actually the first phase that we've launched, and it covers medical care like any in the normal hospitalization, and we've added in additional benefits, which is while we can, this is actually sponsored by FWD Takaful. That's why it's limited time only. Post care and extra care, and probably touch a bit more about it as we go along along this conversation. Some of you might think, oh, okay, maybe when we go out, like myself, I actually have a medical card for my son when I took it when he was a baby. At that time, he wasn't diagnosed with autism yet, right? As a practitioner, there's always there's always because of you don't, it's always based on utmost good faith, right? Even you have something or somebody tells you you can get covered for your child, there's always that uncertainty when you go for claim whether it gets rejected or not, because it depends on the assessment and things like that. And what we have here is something that you don't have to think twice, right? You can use the medical card, go to the private hospitals and get covered, and don't have to worry about medical about medical coverage, right? So this is the learning disabilities that we've covered thus far, right? And I say thus far because this is the first phase. We're trying to get a bit more in, and but I don't want to put any commitments up front, just to manage timing, and hopefully it gets through. But at least for now, we have these six: ADHD, Tourette syndrome, GDD, global development delay, autism spectrum disorder, which is particularly close to my heart. Any the intellectual disability, and also specific learning disabilities, dyslexia, I can pronounce the other, dysgraphia and dyscalculia, right? Ones with alphabet, numbers, and as well. So it's very important just to ensure that you are eligible for this. You do have to have, the easiest way is to have an OKU card, a Malaysian OKU card, or have a medical diagnosis letter. I know some parents out there don't actually take up a medical OKU card, but as long as you have this, then you can apply for it. So maybe I'll pause for a while and see if there are any questions. Any questions? No? Yes? No? I can't see the chat, sorry. All right. And? No?
No, we don't have any.
Okay. All right. Okay. No, not
Najib,
yet. Yeah.
Najib, if you don't mind, I'd just like to add on something.
Yeah, sure.
As of 24th of February 2022, the persons registered with autism is 33,665. And this is from MOE. And in total, the persons with learning disability is 214,299. Alarming though. It's back to you, Najib. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So, where was I? Right. So yes, that's where we are right now. And but I'll give you, and no, where was I again? Sorry, my
You were talking about they need to have some sort of documentation to say that they have
Yeah, yeah. Either an OKU card, which is the simplest way, and any form of medical report out there, right? Um, what was that? Okay, just to give you, just to manage expectation as well, you know, and I've told you the stories of how challenging it can be to get through. So this is again the first step to it, and at least now we have a medical coverage, and then now I'm gonna share with you what's covered through the plans that we have. So right now we have two plans, right? And there's 1 year is yearly renewal up to the age of 71 years old when you go in. Step up contribution based on 18 age. So when you go in every 5 years, in a age limit, age band of 5 years, the contribution or the premium amount will increase. So that's one of the things that usually a medical plan, if you don't, it usually happens in any medical plans as well. So we have two plans covering for an annual limit of 50,000 and 100,000. I know some of you might think there are a lot of medical plans out there that have higher coverages of annual limit, but because this is the first plan for learning disabilities for the community, they are, this is much as possible that I can push up for it. And again, through the logics that I'll share, is probably something that we can start off. And at any ammunition is about 10,000, because the idea is really to ensure that all of us get our children some form of coverages. And a lot of times when we go into any medical condition in hospitals, it doesn't really go up to that amount as well. Initially there were a lot more controls that wanted to be put in place, but we managed to get it up to this. Hospital room about 150 ringgit for per day. ICU about 300 up to 60 days a year, or up to 15 for plan one. When you say accidental outpatient treatment, if anything happens and you cut a finger and go inside the emergency room and do something, 1,000 a year. And a deductible option of 500 per year. So deductible is something that you can opt for cashless at all. Where you go, you have this medical card, you just show to the hospital and admit, and you don't have to pay anything. If it's covered, then you don't have to pay anything. Or there's another option where there's deductible. You pay 500 ringgit, you is out of your own pocket, 500 ringgit. Anything on top, then it gets covered, right? The difference is when you have this deductible option, if you opt for this, the contribution or premium is lower than if it's fully covered, right? So we want to give an option where you have affordability for these two plans as well, to ensure that everybody is able to take. So per admission claimables, as you can see on the other slide, on the right side, no, the slide, is the basically hospital supplies and services, surgical fees, anesthetic fees, ambulance fees, day surgery, operating theatre fees, in hospital physical visits, and post hospitalization treatment. Right. Um, when we if you To give you a bit more background to how we came about this as well, we actually had we actually had a research being done, right? We conducted a research FWD group from Hong Kong itself, and then very thankful to group as well, sponsored a research and talked to a lot of parents to develop and see what kind of coverages that we want, not you, because I am a parent as well, and I was one of the interviewee, and what gets covered, right? And that's where I think one of the amounts that's where we fall to about 10,000 ringgit per admission as well, because I explained that a lot of times when my son, even for certain small things that happens to him, and he has gone into hospital many times for various reasons, because of how they are. Sometimes you just need to give to put them on GA, right? So that's where the anesthetist fee comes in. And I think the when we did assessment on how to do pricing as well, I think the additional about 3,000 for that has been taken into consideration. So we ensured that, that's why we ensure all these 8 items that you see on the right is there, so that we, as much as possible, the journey into the hospital is as smooth as possible. So in essence, it's really more or less the same like a lot of the medical cards for anyone out there, just with some limits. But again, trust me, in the way that after assessment of how my own experiences and some of the data we have, it, it, it provides that assurance that at least in a year it's not like as if our children go into the hospital many more times than any other children anyway. So a lot of times this limits doesn't you don't even reach these limits at all. There is no lifetime limit, so as long as you have the coverage, you can use it until every year with these limits up to now. Okay, there are questions I saw. Oh my goodness, I lost it. Higher letter from developmental pediatrician. Yes, it should be okay. That itself, we have uh, uh, that itself is fine. The earlier question by Dr. Rajini, I think, is like that's already covered. Yes, it's covered as I've shown in the slide earlier. So and then now the additional benefits. So for SpecialMed, we wanted to give additional things because that's how we want to change people, the way people feel about Takaful. So we've looked at post care and extra care, right? And then the first thing is, we know that coming back from injury or illness will always require time and patience, and having that right support, any support for that matter, right, helps with the any transition. So we have provided these two things. So first is post hospitalization expenses, reimbursement of up to 30 days after hospitalization, and also if any rehabilitation or therapy needs as per the illnesses or any injury, for up to a cap of 2,000 ringgit, you can reimburse. This instead of having that cashless option, this is on a reimbursement basis. And you just have to submit the necessary to us, and we'll process the claim. And also extra care, extending your anything beyond medical, right? So first and foremost, a future benefit for those who are taking for your child as or a guardian. If anything happens to us, there's this 5 ringgit for funeral benefit will be paid out for the guardian, right? If let's say I passed away, then they pass 5,000 to my family to do whatever. And also job training subsidy for vocational courses for people with learning disability up to 800 ringgit a year. So this is something that we have offered. So the ones that you see with limited time only, that's something that we give out as a gift. So as long as we've set aside a sum of money, as long as we have that sum of money, then you're willing, you can claim it with us. We'll communicate when, if ever along the way, these two benefits are not available anymore. So how long can you get covered? So for the person with learning disability, you can start covering the child from the age of 5 up to come in. You still can sign up for any adult with any of the conditions that mentioned before, up to age next birthday 55. That means at up to age 54 if his birthday this year or her birthday 54, and the coverage can extend to the age of 71. Right. And for the certificate owner who is a guardian, who can be people like me, the parent, or any legal guardian for adults that won't be able to decide on their own. For people with learning disabilities, adults who can decide on their own, right? Like the more mild one, GDD or intellectual disability, they can take on their own. They just need to have some additional step where require a witness to sign that they understand, which we will communicate as and when. But for any guardians, you can, for me, people like me, 70 age or any age, right? You can sign up for anybody with the learning disabilities. But again, to come clean for any other medical plans out there, to be honest, there are exclusions, right? For any of some product. First, pre-existing illnesses. If some of the children have any pre-existing illnesses, which I doubt, then it's not covered. You got to declare that anyway. Any claim arise from unlawful acts, circumcision that we don't cover. Dental don't cover, HIV, communicable disease required quarantine by law. This is similar for any medical card for normal people as well. It's not covered. If COVID-19 is not covered until and once it's called endemic, then it's no longer communicable disease required quarantine by law. Pregnancy, right? Nervous disorders, eye, and etc. I think you can read there. Comorbidities, mental disorders, epilepsy. Okay, that's something that I wanted to come clear. Sleep disorders and reflux. And for the guardian benefit, the only exclusion, remember the funeral expense, if any of the parents or guardian, legal guardian, takes suicide for within the first year, then it's not paid out as well. So it's very clear these are the things that's not covered. Other than this, it's all covered. Again, there's waiting period like any other medical plan as well. For specified illnesses before, you have to wait 3 months. Not 3 months, sorry, 120 days. 120 days is what? 4 months. Hypertension, tumors, urinary and hernia and this stuff like that. So this is applicable for the first year when you go in. Next year when you renew, this is no longer applicable. Other medical conditions is 30 days, so you got to wait 30 days. It's also very standard, but no waiting for accidental if you go into the hospital for accidental. What else? How do you get on board? So it's actually online, right? You don't have, you just go there. Very simple step I've taken for my son. I probably was the first one to take up to ensure that I test it out for everyone before I start talking about it. You fill in your child's the person covered or your child, right? Birth date, gender, then yours to calculate the age. Then you choose your plan. Whether it's plan 1 or plan 2 with a 50,000 or 100,000 annual limit, and whether deductible or non-deductible option. Then you have to answer these questions, right? It will prompt you into 2 forms. It will ask you your occupation as well. Extensive assistance, dependent, have self-harm, whatever, and stuff like that. And then the second one, and if you answer no to all, then you're all clear. If some of you might say, or some might have to answer yes to some, no worry, we're working on for those who are unable to fall into this criteria in second phase. But again, it's up to you to answer yet no to all as well. I won't ask too many questions as well if you go, you know what I mean. Then they prompt you with your price point, and I won't be able to give you how much price point across which plans and how much. we've tried as much as possible to make it as affordable as possible. And I'm going to declare, I usually don't declare my age publicly, but because I want to give you assurance of how much it costs for to take it up. So I took up the plan 100,000 without deductible for my son who is 14 years old, a male, and myself. I'm 41 years old. This year, probably age next birthday, whatever. They calculate it for you. It's 150 ringgit a month for such a medical card, which is more or less, something you pay for a medical card out there. And again, I have to thank a lot of people in FWD Takaful, particularly again Sharifah Zarina, her team Faiz and Ikwan and all for helping and being patient with me for through these conversations about price as well to get to where we are. So I won't say that I can say it's affordable, something that we all of us could probably take for our child, right? Again, if you can't take the 100,000, always the 50,000 is also an option. And as I said, we as human beings, individuals, and a lot of us with our children don't go to the hospital and spend 50,000 a year anyway. So something that thought to ponder. And for SpecialMed launch campaign, and it's not a month, it's Autism Awareness Month, but up to the end of the year, again, up to the end of the year, 31st December 2022, if you use this promo code SMED20 when you sign up for SpecialMed, you get a 20% off the first year contribution. So it's like I said, mine was what 150, right? So it's 80 80% of what you have to pay, or 150 only for. Oh shoot, sorry, no, what happened? Okay. And you can go to the URL there and you can scan the QR code to bring you to the link to sign up. And I've just pasted the URL in the chat as well. So that's about it I wanted to share. I'm sorry I might sound a bit without energy. Actually, just came back from Singapore yesterday and fasting, probably because of that, trying to find. But I'm very, very happy to be able to share with everyone with this. I hope um, it gives that smile on a lot of people's face. I think a lot of parents have been looking for a medical card for this. Let me show. Can you all see me on the call? Right? Anybody?
We can't see you.
You can't see.
We can see the last slide that says SpecialMed launch campaign.
Yeah. Can you see my face?
Not now. No.
Oh, is it? How come? My video's on. Okay.
Maybe you stop.
Oh, I've stopped sharing. Is it? Okay. Can you see it now? Share. Sorry. Something's wrong. Can you see my screen now?
The screen, yes, but not you.
Okay, but this is the
we can see you, Najib.
You can see me. Okay, good. Because I wanted to show you the card. So it's actually, the card is an app, right? You after 24 hours, if you sign up after 24, you receive an email from our partner, third party administrator, Medi Express, to give you the instruction, the password to install the medical card. So it's an app where once you sign in, then you have all the details. This is my son's. You have that. Then you can see the coverages. Can you see? Right? And then it's all there. The e-card looks like this. and you can see utilization of how much you've done, you have, letter of guarantee online, and whatnot. So everything's digital as well. um yeah, so that's it, to be honest. And this last slide, just to show, to tell everyone, I think we are moving forward step by step for into inclusive Takaful, getting as much coverages to everyone. Although today I'm happy to share with the autism community, which is very close to my heart. Hopefully one day we do hope to, oh, we can't see the app due to the okay, let me just close the background and show you again. Or was it to cover as much other learning disabilities as well as possible, or any disability for that matter. But again, pray with us that we get that across. And with that, thank you. Anything less is from myself. Anything good is from the Almighty. And now we're open for questions. Maybe I have to stop sharing and off my background. Is it? Julian, you can see because of the. I should blur my background because it's scary. I'm in a room. I'm actually in my son's room. Okay, again, let's try it again. Can, oh, still you can't. Okay, let me off the background. Um, None. As you can see, the Legos at the back is my son's room. Okay, this is, oh, okay. All right, this is the app. It's here, Medi Express. You on, you can see it tells you about your, auto is very unclear, but it tells you the coverages. There's a lot of all the items here. The medical card, e-medical card is here. Oops, this is my son's medical card. And you have all the letter of guarantee. You can submit the claim there if any, and a lot of it is there. Okay, so any questions? So I think I've answered most of the questions already. The indicative premium amount, I've shared mine for my son, 14 years old, 41-year-old parent, 150 ringgit. Yeah, and to be honest, this because it ranges, right? Different parents, different children. When you go to the website, it will help calculate the contribution. All payment is online, so it's pretty easy as well. Yes, Masita Mansur raise a hand.
Najib, Malati
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
I saw a max claim of 10,000. So each admission is up to 10,000.
Yes, it's up to
WBD
10,000.
dash.
Yes, it's up.
Then you have the option of either choosing the deductible of 500 or no deductible.
None. Yep. So the only, like I said, the deductible, like mine, right? I took for mine for my child with me, it's 150 ringgit. If you take the option with deductible, it's probably maybe cheaper than I actually didn't check how much cheaper, but it should be cheaper as well.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Okay, I think we'll have Masita. Masita, do you have a question?
Hi.
Yeah, hi.
Assalamualaikum and good afternoon,
Waalaikumsalam.
everybody. I am Anne's friend actually. Okay, Cikgu Masita here. Okay, I am a blind. Okay, can I join this policy?
Okay, this is right now for people with learning disability. So we haven't got a specific product for blind. But
Blinds.
yeah, but if you actually can try the normal one and see, and through an agent they will help you, because blind a lot of times don't get rejected upfront in most cases.
Because from my understanding, okay, for the blinds like me, okay, usually they will exclude anything to do with the our eyes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
That's what I
yeah,
heard.
yeah.
That's true, huh?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a
Yeah.
good day, everyone.
Thank you. So to answer to expand, right? What Cikgu Masita asked, a lot of times, even for normal people, right? For people who doesn't have any disability for that matter, if you have any pre-existing illnesses, when you take up a medical card, that itself will get excluded. Let's say you have a minor diabetic, right? A low diabetic. A lot of times you might get a medical coverage, medical card, but particularly on diabetic, you might get excluded. So it's really that's why they say when you want to take a Takaful plan, take as much as possible for normal people before anything illnesses. And but the same logic applies for any condition, any pre-existing condition. And they will probably exclude that as well. Yeah. Any other questions? I have with me some a few of my colleagues as well who can help.
Yeah, we do have a question. I'll read on the comments first. It says, "Thank you so much, Najib. This is a wonderful initiative. Thank you, NASOM, for organizing." And that's from Kiran. And we have also Yong. Yong has two sons on the spectrum. And Yong said, "Thank you for the info and initiative. Yes, step by step, and hope to see better and better products in the future." Thank you, Yong. Yong was one of the persons for your last talk said, "Hey, we want a medical." So here it is.
Yeah, please, please do
And,
take.
and then also,
Yeah.
sorry. And then also, we also want to give a shout out to our panel doctors, NASOM's panel doctors who are on this call, Dr. Roshan and Dr. Azura. I think you've been contacted by FWD Takaful as well. So they are also partners of ours. And so, yeah, the part that you said endorsing the card or documentation. So they are our doctors. As soon as the children have their screening or their assessment, they will help our psychologists to endorse the form. And then also, what's really encouraging, Najib, for me, because hearing a lot of families saying that therapy is very expensive. So in your limited time, if you have this card, 2,000 ringgit, I think it's going to be very helpful to the families there. And we also have a question from Suresh. And Suresh's question is,
yes.
When we need to get one child into hospital, we just need to show the hospital the virtual card?
Yes, you do. Yes, that's all. Because it's nowadays it's very everybody's integrated and online. So you just have to show the virtual medical card. Yes, that's true. So it's again thank you again, and I'm very happy to hear we have doctors helping supporting us in the call as well. If FWD Takaful has reached out to you, probably I think it's either the interview or something. So you probably contributed to development of the product as well.
We have a question from Dr. Azura. Sorry, Najib.
Which one? Down
Category.
syndrome, is it? About
Yeah.
Down syndrome. Okay, so again, as I mentioned, it's really a journey. It's really a journey. So it's a journey. I have that's the best word I can say. We right now have the intention to provide coverage for Down syndrome. It might not be as comprehensive as the cover that you see today, or at least we were trying to get it at par, and hopefully we will get it out as soon as possible. Right now, it's not covered. And 1 year ago, when I had this talk with NASOM, talking about direct, I said the same thing. Pray with us so that we can launch that. So again, for Down syndrome, I know even after the special care talk, a few of my own friends came to me with children with Down syndrome, asked for it. Hopefully, we'll be able to get it up. So again, Ramadan for Muslim, Dr. Azura, pray with us so that it gets out soon. right? That's what I can answer. I see another few questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. DS.
But Dr. Rajini, her question is, children with syndromes or genetic diagnosis are covered? It's a question mark. And then another one is that by Zamzuri, is there family takaful?
Okay,
And
yeah. So their family takafu is really just now, right? Family takafu is actually life insurance, what it means. For the normal takafu product that you want to cover for children with disability is the special care direct. For adults, we don't have yet. But yeah, that's the short answer. Julian asks, are there a lot of panel hospital under this coverage? Perhaps more example, it's the same panel hospitals that we have for our normal medical card. You can visit our website, www.fwd.com.my to look at it. Most of the major hospitals are covered. KPJs, can't remember, a lot of the KPJ hospitals are there. Most of them are there. Okay. From Dr. Rajini, that question, right? Syndrome or genetic diagnosis are covered. So I'm assuming right now, no, because this particular one is for learning disabilities covered with all these 6 items. But again, we let me by definition, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. It's covered with this particular product. I'm not sure whether such product is covered under the normal medical cover, because that's usually full underwriting. You have to disclose everything and gets underwritten by underwriters and come back to you, if you know what I mean. The ones that we have right now is, again, this particular product, just to emphasize, is simple issuance offer. You literally just have to answer those 6 questions in those 2 sets of questions that was popped up. That will be popped out in your when you sign up online. It's all online. There's no human intervention for underwriting. So once you've done that, you declare that, you should be all okay, unless something else causes any other checks hits any red flags. Any other questions? I hope I had answered those questions that came about. Did I miss anything?
no, there's a very good encouraging comment by a grandma, and she says, "Thank you to FWD Takaful for the insurance. It's a great help to parents. Her son is on the spectrum." And then also, I want to make a comment, Najib. Just now on one of your slides, I saw there lack of empathy to human caring.
Yes, our vision. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And I believe this thing, this card of yours, has certainly lived up to that. And then also to all the doctors here, all the parents, all the families, everyone on this call, please do share about this policy. Yeah. You need to know more information, you could always contact FWD Takaful.
Yep.
Maybe, we will just share the email address on the chat. And also FWD Takaful is a strategic partner to NASOM. They have helped us in our fundraising. And because of that, we are able to train our teachers, retrain our teachers, organize talks. And all this is made possible by FWD Takaful. And we are very, very appreciative and thankful. Also, Dr. Rajini has been on our platform speaking for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are really thankful to all of you who are here. Please.
Yeah. So, and if I may add, just to, so if you have any problems, some of you might it's very, very, very simple, to be honest, to sign up online. In most cases, it's again, like I mentioned, enter the person covers age and date of birth and gender, your age and birth, gender. If a parent, what you work, if an adult with any working, what you work as, answer those questions, upload the OKU or medical report up in the form of JPEG or PDF or PNG. I think the other format that's accepted. Confirm, pay, then you get an email from us, and in 24 hours you get an email from our third-party administrator to sign up with the app and the online medical card. if ever you have any difficulties, don't worry. You can reach out. Either reach out to Anne, to NASOM, or reach out to us through direct.my@fwd.com, and we get we have telemarketers who helps us who can help you explain and guide you step by step as well. Some of them I saw is on the line. IU is on the line, and another one more sin, or we call as Momo, is also on the line, who can help you with the steps, step by step. The other thing that I really wanna to to plead to everyone, like Anne say, do get the message out. I think it's we can do so much. I'm not a celebrity who gets, say something the whole world hears me, right? But we want to get the message out there. If you have any friends, any family members that has any of these learning disabilities, with the autism, ADHD, GDD, intellectually, all the dyslexia, dysarthria, and dyscalculia, I can't always pronounce it right. Um, uh, get in out, offer them, and if possible, if you think it's worth it, hopefully it's worth it. I hope it puts a smile on your face. It put a smile on my face when I finally managed to launch it. We're still, it was a bit, to be honest, it was a bit, we had a lot of things, so we're trying to still build up some campaigns on how to get this out to the public. But again, a word of mouth, word of trust is the best way to get it out. More people we have on board, the more data we have, the more we can offer. That's the other thing I plead as a parent, or from the autism community, who is passionate about disability as a whole. It's not just autism, for any other disabilities as well. We want to be inclusive. We want to provide coverage to everyone. The more data we have, the more we can clear all this misconception about what the community is, about how risky we are, or children are, which might not be the case, right? In actual fact. So please do share. And the best thing about it, up to 31st December, 20% off. That's a lot, to be honest. I think I save about $400 when I paid for my son. I paid the whole year in annual mode. Again, thank you again, and back to Anne.
Najib, sorry, just one last question quickly. Is
Yeah,
there
sure,
a
go ahead.
flyer? Do you have a flyer that it'd be easier to share via WhatsApp?
Okay. I have to route this to my team who's online, but we are developing some videos for sure. We'll get some flyers out as well. We have
Okay.
some very small posters, digital posters already around, but we can share that with Anne, and then can distribute it out. But we will get it out and get it out to you. I'll speak to my team as well. Marcus, one of my brother in kind. I don't call crime. He's on the line as well, and he probably will take it up.
Okay, thank you so much.
And we've also got Dr. Roshan, whom I just chatted via the chat. We asked him if we could have your flyers in his clinic, and he says okay. He is Polyclinic Roshan in Taipan, so he says it's fine. So you've already got you out there. It's a clinic, so everyone's going to go and look at this, and
Yeah.
And we will also share it out with all our NASOM members and our families, and also on our social media about this wonderful product. And if you're a parent on this call, if you have any comments for Najib, or you can put it in the chat, or you can let him know this. And then also, Najib, I want to say that in this call, we've got persons with disabilities or their families here. We've got global developmental delay represented in this call, ADHD, autism, blind, cerebral palsy, dyslexia. And if I've not mentioned you, you can always say who you are, who are you representing on this call. So we have tried to get everyone here to come, so that it's just not for the learning disabilities. Like you said, you want people to register, you want the data so that things can be made possible. Yeah, Najib, on behalf of NASOM, our board members and our families, we just want to say thank you. Congratulations on this launch, and it's really going to benefit a lot of families. Selamat berbuka puasa.
again, thank you again for having us, for having me and my team. There's a few of us on the call. We are very happy. I am out of words, to be honest, to say how happy I am to be able to bring this to everyone. And please again do share with everyone. And thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Special shout out to Kyrene, Marcus, Diana, Alexia, and the rest of FWD Takaful. Thank you so much for your support towards NASOM and its members. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.